This is my find of the year. I cannot believe what I've seen with my own eyes. Trident 89 in between those foxholes. This neat little button belonged to a Soviet soldier back in 45. 10 meters next to the bigger position where I just dug the button, the Soviet one. Here's a smaller foxhole. A lot of pieces of charcoal come out of it. Cable, a rubber glove, which has something to do with gas protection. More positions here in the nearby area. A lot of signals. This one is actually a pretty good one, 94. This is going to be a lot of work. I will have a closer look and then I give you a quick summary of the things I find here. Some thin wire appeared in one of those foxholes, together with the remains of a cable drum, which is clearly a piece of communications equipment. This is something the soldiers would have used back then to interconnect all of the single foxholes, in which they would have been using some field telephones. The high-tone signal turned out to be a piece of melted aluminum. Other than that, there are only a lot of ration cans the Soviet soldiers were obviously eating from, and afterwards simply dumping them. The same thing that I will do right now, closing my hole and continuing my search further. Here's a former position, and 5 meters in front of it there was here's another position actually, and 5 meters in front of this position, or 3 meters next to this one, there was an iron signal, the end part to an MP40 came out of the ground. It's broken, but in my last video I found a complete one, only 500 meters from where I am right now. That's a very interesting hint. There are some more signals. Let's see. This actually is the rest of the grip. More specifically speaking, this is the trigger part. Some K98 rifle casings. Right next to it, a German Wehrmacht soldier's regiment button made out of aluminum, which back then, of course, would be an indicator of the regiment he belonged to. This is the handle to a filing cabinet. It is the next day. The layer of snow gets thicker from day to day. We have almost reached the point where it doesn't make sense any longer to swing the coil. This is my find of the year. I cannot believe it, what I've seen with my own eyes. I cannot believe it. Here are two foxholes, barely visible anymore. I had a Trident 89 next to, or in between those foxholes. Okay. Wow. This is a so-called Feldpoststempel. I've cleaned it a bit, and as you might see on top, this is an official stamp of a unit from the Waffen-SS, which they would have been using back then to sign some documents or letters, incoming and outgoing letters and documents. I will have to do a proper research on the unit, and then I give you a more detailed background to it. This circular unit stamp dates back to the last days of the Second World War, and it belonged to the supply company of the SS Panzerjägerabteilung 16. The unit was part of the 16th SS Panzergrenadierdivision Reichsführer SS, and its primary role was to defend against enemy armored vehicles using anti-tank guns and later self-propelled tank destroyers. This specific supply company associated with the stamp was responsible for logistics such as ammunition, fuel, food, spare parts, and vehicle maintenance. Finding an original unit stamp like this is extremely rare. Only a small number were produced for each unit, and access to them was strictly limited to senior personnel, such as the company commander, Kompaniechef, the acting company leader, Kompanieführer, or the company sergeant major, Kompanie-Spieß. So, what was the purpose of this stamp? Such stamps were used to officially authenticate military documents, including award certificates, service book entries, transfer orders, and logistical paperwork. In conclusion, the restricted access to such stamps suggests that a high-ranking member of the supply company was present here around 80 years ago, and that the stamp ended up in the foxhole either through loss or deliberate disposal.